In college sports, it's National Collegiate Signing Day in football, the day the top high school football players announce where they'll play next year. It's been the only thing on ESPNU since about 7 o'clock this morning, and as always, Alabama and Florida did what they do, dominate. But the runaway top story of this all-important day is coming out of Oxford, Mississippi. Ole Miss, yes, I am an Ole Miss rebel, signed the #1 player in all the nation. The defensive end, Robert Kimdichie, is a rebel now, chosen over Florida and over Bama, and now others are following him. It probably helps that his big brother's on the team and a superstar of his own, and his mom wanted him all in Oxford, and who could blame her? What's happened since Robert Kimdichie signed early this morning has the entire football world talking. The architect of the best recruiting class in Ole Miss history is its second-year head coach, Hugh, and he's with us from Manning Way on campus. I got a list here, Coach. You got the #1 and #5 overall high school players, the #1 defensive end, the #1 and 3 offensive tackles, the #1 receiver, the number two safety, the #1 JUCO. The biggest day in program history. LeBron James is tweeting about it. Chris Lowe, who writes for SEC on ESPN, says that Ole Miss's star power is stunning and that you, Coach, haven't made a splash but cleared the pool with one giant cannonball. I think they hear it in Baton Rouge. How did you do that?
Well, Shepard, it obviously is a lot of people that go into this process, but I think the first thing that was important to us that we had some, besides God's goodness to us, we had some natural tie-ins to 3 of those national guys. #1, obviously you mentioned it, Robert Kimdichie's brother is on our team, and family is so important to that mom and that dad and those brothers that if we could just create some momentum in our program, I felt like we had a good chance at getting him.
What was your sell on our special place? How did you convince all those moms you talked about that that's where they need to be, in Groveland?
Well, you know from your experience that if we can get them to campus, particularly on a weekend where we have a home football game or either a spring visit to where there's a spring baseball game being played, that this is one of the most beautiful places on God's earth. And obviously people like Dr. Ethel Young Minor, who share with them the process of how we're going to go about being a family here and educating their young sons, and our faculty and students. But our team, our players probably were the best recruiters when we got them on campus because they sold our coaching staff and our vision to those top recruits and their families. But you know, had we not had that natural tie-in there, would we be sitting here talking about that? Probably not. I'm a realist. But we did, and that's part of our luck, I guess. And having Denzel here, and then Laquan Treadwell, the #1 receiver in the nation. You know, we got his best friend here on our team from last year's signing class, and a great tie-in there with Coach McGriff and the high school coach. So those were great tie-ins.
Coach, Minnesota had a big year a few years ago and couldn't keep it going. You still have to play Alabama and LSU every year, just in the SEC West, not to mention Johnny Football over there at A&M. When is it going to be, or is it possible that someday Alabama and LSU's coaches will go, yeah, but now we got to play Ole Miss?
Well, we're certainly trying to upset the apple cart a little bit. I think we were very competitive last year in those games, and I think we took a great step forward in taking our talent level to another dimension today. But this one class alone, I don't think we can sit here and say that it can do it. We need to follow it up with the class next year, not necessarily of such top-heavy kids. I don't know that if that's repeatable or not, because I don't know if we'll have those tie-ins. But I do think it's possible to land a lot of quality 4-star and high 3-star kids like we did also in this class. That they're not being talked about near enough, but I think we've got some really good players in that realm of our class also.
Go get them, Coach. You talk about winning the day. Sir, you won the day. Congratulations, Hotty Toddy, and see you in September.
Hotty Toddy, Shepard.
All right. Well, yeah, sorry. If you had your own show, you'd do it too.